Donald Trump should be locked up in jail.
Yes, actually, a lot of Democrats say he should be locked up in jail all the time. Are you kidding? And again, that doesn't matter to people across the country who are struggling.
What's going on, guys? We got to talk about this CNN panel losing their mind, making up narratives about how Donald Trump is going to jail his political opponents, okay? Political persecution. You know, the thing that they use the DOJ and weaponize them to persecute Trump for, or how they had corrupt district attorneys and even corrupt attorney generals going after Trump and literally campaigning, saying, if you elect me, I will go after Trump. Yeah, those people are now the pot calling the kettle black, because they're saying that, well, if Trump gets elected, he's going to prosecute his political opponents. They said the same thing back in 2016. And guess what Trump did when he got elected? He didn't prosecute anybody. A lot of people were mad about it. Hillary Clinton deserved to get prosecuted, and he still let it go. But with him, no. They want to throw him under the jail. So I'm going to show y'all what people are talking about, because Trump obviously never said that he was going to prosecute his political opponents. He put out this note here on his Truth Social, okay? It says, cease and desist. Together with many attorneys and legal scholars, am watching the sanctity of the 2024 presidential election very closely, because I know better than most the rampant cheating and skullduggery that has taken place by the Democrats in the 2020 election. It was a disgrace to our nation. Therefore, the 2024 election, where votes have just started being cast, will be under the closest professional scrutiny. And when I win, those people that cheated, will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, which will include long-term prison sentences, so that the depravity of justice does not happen. Okay? The people that cheated, not who he doesn't like, not his political opponents, the people that cheated. Let's finish up here. Okay? We cannot let our country further devolve into a third world nation, and we won't. Please beware that this legal exposure extends to lawyers, political operatives, donors, illegal voters, and corrupt election officials. Those involved in unscrupulous behavior will be sought out, caught, and prosecuted at levels unfortunately never seen before in our country. Basically, don't cheat in elections. That's all he's saying. But these folks at CNN took that as, oh, he's going to lock up anyone who he disagrees with. These people are crazy. They know, you know what it really is? They know that they're a bunch of liars and cheaters, and they know that when they get caught, it's over for them. That's why they're so desperate to stop him from getting elected, to the point where they're willing to cheat in order to do it. And they probably did in 2020. And they just don't want that evidence to come out that will allow them to get caught. If the Democrats stay in power, of course, they're not going to say anything. But if Trump gets in power, he's doing all kinds of investigations, catching and locking up all kinds of people. It's about to be the craziest 4 years y'all have ever seen, in terms of government just being wiped out, with a bunch of these radical leftists just going to be poof, gone. And they're definitely afraid. Without further ado, let's get into this video of them having their little meltdown.
Look, there have been people on this network that say a lot of these suits wouldn't have been brought if his name wasn't Donald Trump. Some very respected.
And many voters see that and feel the same way, which is part of why I think it has resonated across the country. But those are the people that have to get out and vote for him to help him win in November.
Let me ask you a question.
So you may not like it, but it's the reality. And we can sit and debate back and forth. But you have to remember, you have to have empathy for the people out there across the country who are struggling.
Like Donald Trump has empathy for people?
No, who are going to... Please don't interrupt. Who are going to...
He had empathy for those people who died in Afghanistan, and the parents, the mothers and fathers and siblings of those people. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden didn't seem to have any empathy at all for them.
The grocery store and are struggling to pay for their groceries for their children, who are going, and the economy has ravaged their lives.
Let me ask you a question.
Inflation has become incredibly insane. When he left office, it was 1.5%. By 2022, it was over 9%. This is a reality people are living with.
Inflation is down.
And it may hurt Kamala Harris more than you think.
Inflation, we're not even.
But it's not down to where it was.
Let me ask you a question.
I want to ask you.
Let me ask you a question.
People are still dealing with those realities.
Have you ever heard Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or anyone in the Democratic Party leadership say that Donald Trump should be locked up in jail?
Yes, actually, a lot of Democrats say he should be locked up in jail all the time. Are you kidding? And again, that doesn't matter to people across the country who are struggling. That doesn't matter. They don't care. They want to pay for groceries for their kids. They want to get gas.
Are you going to focus on the subject? You're going to change the topic.
I'm going to focus on what matters. When you look at the states like Pennsylvania that are going to decide this election, and 80% of people say economy is the number one issue. They're not talking about political persecution.
And now you interrupted me repeatedly. So you're not consistent.
You interrupted me,
So you're not consistent. But the point I'm trying to make, though, Madison, is that what David said is that there's a lawfare campaign against President Trump. And he's comparing that to what Anna said about what's going on in Nicaragua, which is not the same at all, because there is no leadership
that's That's not what he said.
Let me finish my statement. Let me finish my statement. There is no leadership in the top of our government who is encouraging the president, the former president, to be locked up. This is happening separately.
It doesn't make sense to say that. If you have a DOJ and is Joe Biden's, the Department of Justice reports to the president, right? The Department of Justice is Joe Biden's Department of Justice. So if they're going after Jack Smith is a direct offshoot, he works for the DOJ. He just brought another suit against Trump. So to say, well, he's not trying to lock Trump up, this guy's a disingenuous asshole. Like, that's literally his entire purpose. Otherwise, he could have seen the presidential immunity thing and just let it go, but he didn't. Now he's trying to act like, well, we're going to resubmit this and have it not be about presidential immunity. This guy is totally dishonest.
These are state and local jurisdictions, aside, and the two federal jurisdictions are handled by an independent counsel.
And
so
can I just
that's a totally different situation.
The DOJ is not independent. This guy.
To add, I mean, the whole thing that we're seeing as a country is actually the system working completely independently of some sort of, magic hand. I mean, you've got in Florida a case that's basically stalled against Trump.
Yes.
And the Democrats complained about that. They said that the judge was corrupt. And then when the Supreme Court ruled for the presidential immunity, they started talking about term limits and impeachment. Like, what are you talking about? These people are nuts.
Exactly. Or look at New York right now. Take Trump out of
What is Brian Stelter doing here? Didn't he get fired from CNN? And then they got Anna Navarro, a little goofy looking ass in the background. Like, I'm glad she don't talk during this clip, so don't worry about her.
Sure. Look at New York.
Sorry, guys. That clip just cut right there, but I think I heard enough of that nonsense because some of these people are just shills. They're going to say, they're going to do what shills do. They're going to lie and gaslight and cap for their team no matter what. And it's really just sad and pathetic at this point. Like, the country is in shambles. Americans keep complaining about it. And these dummies don't seem to care at all. Instead, they just try to tell you, well, no, the economy is doing great. Foreign policy and foreign affairs are doing amazingly. Like, everything globally is stronger than ever, none of which is true. And then to try to harp on Donald Trump and sending people to jail. Donald Trump never said that he was going to send Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to jail either. He said that anybody who participated in election fraud, any participants that are caught are going to be prosecuted and go to jail. It's like you can't talk about committing crimes and taking people to jail. They talked about putting Trump in jail, including many times on CNN themselves.
And I don't know what the mystique is or magic is about not putting Donald Trump in a jail cell so that he understands their immediate consequences for not behaving as a normal adult in the courtroom. So I don't know. I think now may be the time.
Maybe it's time for the judge to send a message to Trump, put him in the holding cell for a couple of hours, see if that changes his mood. What do you think?
Absolutely. The problem is that it's not clear how much authority that the judge has to just do that.
He's going to have to go to solitary because Secret Service cannot
protect
him in general population.
I don't care. Put him under the jail. Put him in solitary. We do not shriek from putting other inmates in solitary confinement.
That's what
Put
you'd have
him
to
there and shut up.
And it came out weird because it sounded like I was hoping he gets stabbed in the shower, and that's not what I meant. I meant like die of natural causes to be a deterrent to anyone else. And I don't care if you're a Democrat or if you're a Republican, whoever attempts a coup in our nation again, that your fate must be death in a prison cell. That you live out your days
I don't
there.
think you said the words "must die in jail" because otherwise I would. And this is going to be #1 on the front page tomorrow. MSNBC's.
No, I think Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump must die in prison because I don't care if he was 45 years old. you should get life in prison if you attempt a coup. And there should be no chance of parole. I don't care who it is. That's why I think Donald Trump or anyone else who attempts a coup must die in jail, because either we're going to protect the Democratic Republic or we're going to allow people, in this case, Trump, to chip away at our democracy and chip away at what we believe in these institutions. That's why I'm so passionate about, like with every fiber in my being, that Donald Trump has to live out his natural days, his last days of natural life in a prison cell.
It has to do with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. She is still, just a quick update, she's still a no on impeachment, but she is offering up a new and, quite honestly, a pretty brutal idea of what she would like to see happen to President Trump. Behind closed doors, according to Politico, the Speaker of the House told other Democratic leaders, quote, "I don't want to see him impeached. I want to see him in prison." Politico citing multiple Democratic sources familiar with that meeting.
These people are some of the biggest hypocrites in the world. I cannot freaking stand these radical leftists at CNN, the propagandists, the shills. And if they participated, you could argue that they did with the whole Hunter Biden laptop, Russia. Maybe y'all are so pissed off and so afraid of this because you know that you might be next to get put behind bars and get thrown under the jail for participating in election interference by suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop and concocting and perpetuating this phony Russia collusion hoax for literally years without no repercussions. When Trump gets in office, oh, it's payback time. Count on it, because if you committed a crime, you got to do the time. No one's above the law, right? Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
These people are crazy, okay? And this is what we're getting.